What's up, my comic book junkies? Nighttiger here, Michael Smith. Welcome to another video. We're going to get into this. We got comics, and we're doing a contest video here for Gary B, the casual guy. So stick around.
Watch Nighttiger coming!
All right, we're back. So, product placement. Gonna have me a sip here. Got a bit of a cold coming on. And you got your snack. Reese's Trees. Love these things. Okay, so this is a contest video for Gary B, the casual guy. So what you got to do is you got to shout out 3 channels you want to see growth into. So my 3 channels are Surfblue. Check him out. I'll put the link below. He shows everything from comics, DVDs, toys. He's big into collect or buying video games and reselling them. Funny guy. Show him love. Let's see him shoot up. Who else? Okay, my buddy Steve Cadwell. I love Disney and comics. Again, link will be below. I want to see his channel growing. He isn't doing too many hauls lately, so if you can go over there, comment on some videos, tell him you want to see more of his awesome stuff. He's a funny guy. He shows a lot of great silver and bronze Marvel comics, mostly horror magazines. He loves his horror. So let's get him growing. And then last but not least, Charlton 66. Another great guy. Oh, this dude has all kinds of artwork done from artists, from comic book artists all over his wall. He's got statues. He likes to collect high-grade Charlton books. And he'll save up his money and he'll buy these big grails. He just loves Charlton, but he loves Western. He loves old comics. And he just has all kinds of stuff. A really great guy, good friend. Let's see him grow. So those are my 3 shout outs. I'll be showing them as I talk about them up here probably. The links will be in below. So for when Gary hits 1,000 subs, he's got to sustain that for 1 week. Then he's going to do a live video. He's getting a lot of donations for prizes. I contacted him and said I'd love to throw in a prize. So second print. AMS number 101, first Morbius, and this is a high grade copy. I paid, I think I paid $50 for this book, maybe 40, I don't remember, but it's fluctuating between 50 and 75, so it's well worth it to win this. But this is Nighttiger here. I'm not just going to give you one book. I got to give you a stack. So what else am I giving you? So I'm going to throw all these in. First, Free Spirit, Captain America 431. Nice high-grade copy of that. She's just a beauty. We're going to give you a Conan 56. Nice black cover. This is a pretty high-grade copy. November 75. A nice John Buscema cover. Some good girl action going on there. You got horror. House of Mystery 247, a pretty decent copy of that, probably mid-grade. You got some bikinis on there. Skeleton Surfing. This is from 1976, 247. Then you got the first first Bronze Age Spectre by Jim Aparo and Mike Friedrich. February 1974, Adventure Comic 431. This is a lower grade copy, but this is one you need to have in your collection, and it is a brutal run, and they got in a lot of trouble for it, so you know you want to read it. And then we got Marvel Spotlight on Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D., December 76. And we got a pretty nice, it seems like a VF copy of Weird Western Tales. Look at that. Love my Jonah Hex, and I found out I have some doubles, so I would love to share them with you. Look at that art. This is number 34 from June 76. Just a beautiful book. This is a lower copy. It's got a lot of spine ticks, but it's Grim Ghost #1. This is a great story also. You got the devil on there. You got the Grim Ghost Rider, or the Grim Ghost. Then you got a really cool, I don't know who does the art on this. Maliv or something, but it's a cool Moon Knight bullseye cover. Alex Maliv, classic bullseye cover. Painted. And then this is the last. You got the first Cosmic Ghost Rider in Guardians of the Galaxy #13, June 1991. So all that will be yours. We'll spin the wheel. However Gary decides, and he gives me the name, you can contact me with your address, and I ship it out to you for free. Now, this is only stateside. I forgot to mention that. So this is only stateside. If anyone happens to win who's overseas, I will do a $25 PayPal. Unless they want to pay the shipping on the books, I'll do that. Or I'll tell you what, I'll do anything, $15 I'll pay on shipping for international, and anything above that you have to pay the difference. So let's go that way if you want the books. Okay, so I picked up this. Oh, they almost didn't have it. The guy, he said they didn't have any more, and he went to the back to get me a Golden Age short box, and then he found one. So I liked these. Very sturdy, but they fit your Golden Age books in really nice. So yeah, so whenever I pick these up, I think they're $8.99. Definitely get them. Okay, into the haul. Okay, so I bought a couple new books. Well, this I didn't buy. It was this is free. So if you're at the comic shop, look for this. What's it called? I don't even know. Laurie Halsey Anderson's Wonder Woman's Tempest Tossed. I'm really afraid to read these new comics by DC. You just never know what you're going to get as far as stuff that's not good. Anyways, I picked up this. I thought it was #1. So I picked it up, and they got it book 2, so small. But I paged through it. It looked really good. It looked like something I want to read. I love Batman, so I might have to track down 1. So there's Batman the Imposter. I don't know. I looked at that Batman and Robin #1, but I was like, I'm afraid of picking up DC Comics and finding out what's in between the pages and the stories now with all this. I'm not even going to mention what it is. You guys can kind of guess. So I'm leery of what I'm picking up from DC from now on. And I don't buy Marvel, so. Okay, so when I go, I went to the smaller store last week. I went to the bigger store yesterday. I like to support my local LCSs. So I'll go in there. I was just looking for the box, nothing else. I asked my wife to come in. She's like, no, I don't want to go in there. We were kind of on a date. But I'm like, if she doesn't come in, I know that I'm going to spend too much time there. And I did. She finally ended up coming in and getting me out of there. But when I'm in there on a short trip and I don't want to stay, I go right to the section that's labeled Marvel. And it seems to me that they just throw in Marvel books there. It could be Thor, Spider-Man, team-ups. Just because it's Marvel, they put it under Marvel. And I always find the good stuff in that section. And so that's what I did. I just went through that section. So I have some fillers here, but these are pretty high-grade books. Captain Marvel 52, 1977, and I paid $5 for this high-grade copy. And, oh, these are out of order, so we get it here. Okay, and then I got number 56, a high-grade copy. That was $5. So I pulled out that CLZ app to check to see what I'm missing. I think I'm like 3 books away from finishing this whole run. And there's number 60. I paid $6 for that one. But they had another one in there that I needed, but it was just too expensive. So I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. I'll wait. I'll find it. I don't really like to pay more than $5 for those. So that was it on that. Then I picked up this. This was $7. No, this was $8. This is first John Byrne on X-Men in Marvel Comics. So this is Marvel Team Up, number 53, January 1977. They had, this is probably like a 3.0, 3.5. Now they did have like a 5.5, maybe 6.0 in there for $35. And I'm just a cheap bastard. So I went for the $8 one. The other one was pretty nice. Me and my wife took them out. We looked at them. We compared them. But this one's all there. It's all attached. Everything's there. So why not pay the $8 and save so I could buy more comics? Just love this cover. It's a horror cover. There's a ghost in the cave. The Ghost of Midnight Mountain. Kid Colt, number 176, November 1973. I'm having to guess that's probably a Dick Ayers cover. Nice blue. It's a pretty good looking solid book. It's probably a 4.0. And this was $2. So heck yeah. They had a beautiful Gil Kane in there, the one where he's drinking out of the little pond in the desert with all the guns pointed at him. I seen that on Dr. Von Chilla. He had a nice high grade copy, but this one was like super low grade, and so I didn't want to get it. But I would love to find that in a higher grade book. This, unfortunately, I didn't read the back until I got home. It says Marvel stamp is missing out of this. But this is, what is this? Marvel Team Up with Doctor Doom. Number 43, March 76. So that was $3. I saw some Doom books. I had to grab them. So I grabbed that one and I grabbed this one. What If Doom Became a Superhero? This was $8. It's a pretty nice copy. Number 22, What If series, August 1980. And you got Mephisto right there on the cover. And I didn't have this one. So the last of these Bronze Age pickups was this one. They had quite a few Spider-Mans and some for $1, but you know, they were really low grade. This one's probably a 3.0, a 3.5. Amazing Spider-Man 158. You got Hammerhead Ghost in the background there. You got Doc Ock on the cover. That looks like a John Romita Sr. cover, if I'm not mistaken. This was $6. So yeah, I love picking up this stuff. But it wouldn't be a Nighttiger comic book haul without Golden Age. So that's what we got. We got one silver Jack Kirby Grail, I would say, gem, kind of a key at the end. This one had one staple loose on the centerfold, but it was really inexpensive. I picked this up for $25. I mean, it's a really nice looking copy, and you got a bit of a cheesecake on there. And this is from 1950, Wanted Comics, number 20. I'm not even sure why I picked this up, but I do like this series. I have quite a few, and I'm always looking for more, especially higher grade copies of this. So that was $25.67 with shipping. This was only $7. It came out to $11.67 with shipping. There were other ones that were like in 100, 120, and I would love to have those grades, but I just wanted this cover. This is a concrete shoe cover from Headline Comics. So they're about to throw that guy in the drink. Mortalized the bum. So you got the concrete shoes on them. You got the cops in the background coming. If you can find this is a really cool cover. Number 54 from July and August of 52. I just love that cover. It's so mobbish, gangsterish. These books, these are scarce. Now I have a high grade copy of another issue. This is Superior Comics from Canada. It has a Bennett's store stamp on it, which was from Dayton, Ohio. It has tape on the spine, but this book is really scarce. And this is Bruce Gentry, which I believe was a comic strip or a radio show in the late 40s, early 50s. This is from 1949. And from the Gerber Guides is a 6. So that means at the time in 1986, when they did those Gerber Guides, there was known to exist less than 200 copies of this. So there you go. I saw this book, I was all over it. $41.20 shipped. This is the kind of stuff I like in my collection. It's really obscure and scarce stuff like this. And speaking of that, there's more of that to come. This book here is really scarce too. I paid $54.57 for this. And I do have another issue with this character. This is Dell's first superhero. So with the popularity of Superman in Action Comics 1939, number 1, all the other comic book publishers were jumping on the bandwagon because they saw how they sold, what, 1 million copies of that Action 1. They had to reprint it again. They reprinted the origin in Superman number 1. So people were just, the comic readers just wanted superheroes after Superman was created. So all these publishers came up with their own original characters. Some of them lasted, some didn't. This one, I think, only lasted like 15 issues. So this is Phantasmo. This is from February 41. If you go to my Instagram, you'll see there was like duct tape or something that was on this spine, all about 3/4 of an inch all the way down on the back and the front. And I was able, it came off pretty easily, and then some of the others that were left that were like stuck tighter to the spine, I took a steamer and steamed it, and it rolled right off the book. So I was really happy with that because it covered up the F and it covered up this 10-cent price right here, and I really wanted that to be showing. I just love this book. Stuff like this just, it takes my breath away. This is the kind of comics that I really, this is what I collect. This obscure, hard to find, weird stuff. So that's the funnies. This is his 7th appearance. His first appearance was in issue 45. And this is a Gerber 5. You can just tell, I'm just so happy to find this. When I see a book like this for $50, I don't even hesitate. So another one. So I opened the Gerber Guides. If you didn't see my Gerber Guide videos and what are they, go back and check that out. I think I did a great job on that. But this is what happens. They're like the Sears Roebuck catalog of comic books. And every time I open them, there's just so much eye candy that I went, oh my goodness, can I find this on eBay? This book is scarce. I wonder if I can find it on eBay. And so I accidentally opened to look up another book, saw this one, and I'm like, I wonder if there's one on eBay. So there was. Cheap. And it's a scarce book. It's from Avon. It's a Gerber 6, so less than 200 known to exist in 1986. Number 2, which was scarcer than number 5, number 1, which number 1 was a 5. So it was $24.60 with shipping. Has a killer date stamp on the back cover. Frontier Romances. Number 2. Beautiful painted cover. Does have tape on the spine. They did a pretty good job. You can't even really see it, but you can see that piece right there. Now, I did look at attempting to remove the tape, and I think if I go any further than what I did, I will take the ink off, so I'm just going to leave it. But it's still a beautiful looking book. I love it. I couldn't believe I found it. And I'll do this. A lot of these books, it was weird this weekend, I got a lot of these Golden Age. There were a lot of personal notes from the sellers. I don't know if that's something that is a new trend. I've got them every now and then, but I've never got them in every book that I came in the mail on one day. So I like to keep that stuff, and I'll keep the receipts also. And that's, if anything happens to me, then my wife or whatever will know what I paid for this book, can determine what it's worth, if they need to resell it. Okay, so we got 2 more left, and I have a big book, LB Cole book coming in. I was hoping I could get it into this haul, but I think I'm going to do just one video on that book, because it's so sweet. And there are reprints of it that are worth actually more than what I paid for the original, which the original is super scarce. And I think a lot of times sellers don't understand about this Golden Age reprints. So I picked this up. 29 was this between two different books for the same price. I'm glad I went with this one. The other one was a Fox. It was lower grade, but it's could be a little more desirable. But this one is pretty desirable in itself. But this one's a higher grade book, and I paid $37.40 with shipping. Jesse James, number 27. Look at that beautiful book. This one has to be looked up close. Now, it's weird. I was looking this up in the Gerber guide. So somewhere between, I think, number 9, they didn't print a 10 to like 16 or 18. They just says they don't exist. And then it picks up again. And the Good Girl covers are the later issues. So this was like $30. I'm sure this book could probably fetch an easy $100 or more. Jesse James, that's number 27. It's from 1956, so it has the comic code. This is one of these rare ones with the comic code that I don't care about because I don't like my books with I don't like buying comic book codes, coded books. And that's usually around 1954 and 55 because what happens is when the comic code came, the writers and everybody was scared of not able to get that book out and published because what happened is they had to get it to go through the authority and people would look it over and read it and go, oh, no, you can't have that, and they'd send it back. The books couldn't meet deadlines, so they sterilized the stories for like the next 2 years before people started to get comfortable knowing where the boundaries were, and then they could get back to writing better stories. Okay, so this is the last book. So let me tell you about this book. This is a Marvel Silver Age book. Now, it has writing on the cover. And I thought it was in pencil in the picture. And I thought, I can clean it, but it's unfortunately it's in marker. But this was the highest raw copy that was for sale on eBay. So the only ones higher graded than this were slabbed, and they were going for a lot more money. There were lower copies that were like $40, $50, $60 in low grade, and I'm like, So this one was $100, and with tax and shipping ended up being $122. So let me just show it. So it's definitely a Kirby. The Man in the Beehive. I just love that, and I remember this from when I was a kid. I'm like, I want to own this. But this is quote unquote a prototype of Doctor Strange. So what happened a lot of times was Stan and Jack would throw characters basically like against the wall, see what would stick. Then when the sales figures came back like 3 months later, they go, okay, that issue sold way more than the ones before or after. So what was it about this issue that made it so desirable among the buyers? Well, this had a character in it called Cesar the Sorcerer by Jack Kirby. And actually, this also has a Steve Ditko story in it. So then later on, they say, you know what? We need to do something with this character. And this was the inspiration for Doctor Strange. So unofficially, it's the prototype for Doctor Strange. Officially, it's not really a prototype because a prototype is something that you're thinking of doing and testing there and knowing about it. This is like retconning the character. But so that's unofficially the first prototype of Doctor Strange. And this is Tales of Suspense number 32 from August 62. But not only that, the opening story, The Man in the Beehive, is a Kirby classic also. Now, why that's not a Yellow Jacket prototype, I don't know. And then you got a Steve Ditko story in here also. The Thing in the Sky. So this was definitely worth the $122. I mean, it's still got a lot of gloss on it. Not much creasing on the cover. It does have some spine ticks. But for a 62, I think it's pretty good. I mean, the guy has his name right here. And, it's not that prevalent. I can overlook that. Basically, if you look at the other copies on eBay, you'll see why. Because they're really low grade. Falling apart, detached covers, pieces missing, stuff like that. So this presents really well. And that's my haul for this week. I'll be having something for next week, of course, and hopefully every week I'll be having something for you. I'm glad you all stuck around. It's almost a half hour. This is usually how long my videos last because I can just talk forever. I love sharing my books. So, Nighttiger, out.